Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Marcy.
Hi, Aaron. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Sorry for
How
being
are you
so
today?
late. I'm good. I slept like 12 hours last night, which is crazy.
What?
Yeah.
That's like two nights of sleep at once.
Yeah, exactly. Because I honestly normally sleep 6, but I did hot yoga yesterday and then I just went to sleep and slept until today. It was so weird.
Maybe there was a Black Friday sale on sleeping where you got a 2-for-1 deal.
Fuck yeah. That's the best Black Friday sale ever.
I order my sleep from Amazon.com.
I feel like this interview is going to be really difficult for us.
This is a good interview.
This is going to be a really good interview.
Okay, ask me all the questions.
Fuck. Oh, man. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you about the new Greg Hates Car Culture book. This is going to be so hard. All right. Welcome to Dublab Radio. This is...
Hi.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
So we're here talking with Aaron Venetian Snares about the new release of Greg Hates Car Culture. This came out in 1999. That's sick.
Yeah. Came out 20 years ago.
What's this label that it came out on? What's History of Future?
Well, it originally came out on this label called History of the Future. That was a label based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, United States of America. And it was ran by this person called Jace Krause. And he was a very nice person. It was the third release on that label. There was like a split record between him and someone else for the first one, and then I think the second one was like some kind of CDR or something. I don't remember what that one was. I remember it was cool, but it is erased from my brain now. And then there was that Greg Hates Car Culture record that I did. It was number 3.
Nice. So not where did you meet this person? On the internet?
I met them in the internet. I guess, well, I used to make tapes throughout the 90s, and he had 1 or 2 of them. So most of the tracks are off. All except for one of those tracks would have been on either the 1 or 2 tapes that he had heard. He kind of helped choose which tracks he wanted to be on that record.
Oh, okay, cool. Where were you making? Were you making the tapes in Winnipeg?
Yeah, I was just making them in my house. So like I would make a tape worth of music, and then make like 8 copies of it or 10 copies or something, and then sometimes I would sell them in this weird rave clothes store in the mall, and people would sometimes buy them there. And then eventually, I think I sold some in a record store.
All in Winnipeg, though.
Yeah, but I guess because people used to like copy tapes and trade them and stuff. Like I used to have like DJ mixes and stuff all the time, where it was just like from people like copying and trading tapes. Those kind of things would like make it, around the world, I guess.
That's cool.
Somehow made it to him. I'm not sure how. But yeah, he was a very nice fellow, and I was really happy that he wanted to put some of my tracks on vinyl. That was really exciting for me, because I'd never really thought about that before.
Right. Do you know how long that label? What other kinds of stuff was on that label? Was it mostly breakcore, or was it like
everyone now?
Sort of, but I mean that wasn't necessarily like such a common term then. It was more like noisy, aggressive music label, I guess. Experimental.
Right.
I did another record on that label called Clearance Bin, and that was like a 7-inch record. So that came a few releases later.
What's Wisconsin? Is that where Milwaukee is?
Yeah, that's where Milwaukee exists in Wisconsin, and also Madison exists in within the realm of Wisconsin. But we used to play these parties, like this guy Dormos and his friends would put on these parties in East Troy, Wisconsin, at this like old barn that was falling down. So I used to go play at those all the time.
Was that in 1999?
Yeah, and before that.
Wow.
I think the first one was in like 1998, maybe 97. I can't remember, but I know I was playing at those well before that had come out.
This was made on an Amiga. What's an Amiga?
What's an Amiga? It's like a fish, and you have to give the fish very clear instructions, and then the fish carries out these tasks within its realm. No, that's not what an Amiga is. An Amiga is like it's a computer. It's a computer from the 80s.
So it's a whole computer.
So
it's not
it's
just
like
a computer
sort of like
program.
it's not like what we know as a computer. Like I think like they only had like 512 kilobytes of RAM, which that's like half a megabyte.
Yeah.
So but you could upgrade your Amiga 500 to a full megabyte, and I had that, and that was super sick. So basically, you just use it as like you could sample a megabyte worth of 8-bit or 4-bit samples, and then you had another like so you had like 4 tracks of that, and then you could MIDI sequence other things with other tracks. But if you tried putting audio on more than 4 tracks, it was a mess, and then the MIDI didn't work, so it wasn't good.
So you had to be really systematic.
Yeah.
How'd you make it sound so good? It sounds good.
I don't know. I don't know how I made it sound good. I don't know. I just used my ears and made sure it sounded good, and then just recorded it onto a tape, and then just made another track.
Did you have to do anything to the is it like, did you have to do stuff to the samples before you put them in there?
Yeah, that kind of helped. Like I found this guitar pedal that was like a 10-band equalizer. So I would sort of sample stuff through that, and I got used to being like, oh, okay, if I like cut here and boost here, it's gonna make this like breakbeat pop more with my crappy graphic equalizer guitar pedal.
Right.
But I didn't know what the heck I was doing anyway, so I was like, what's this thing? Oh, this is magic. So it kind of made things sound a lot better going into there.
Did you use anything else, like any other pieces of equipment, or just
I did like
guitar pedal?
Well, you know what I used to do? We have these stores here called Long and McQuaid, which are like music instrument stores, kind of like Guitar Center, but crappier or something. I don't know. It's just like the Canadian version. And like I would go there and I would rent like multi-effects processors, because like you couldn't make songs in a computer.
Right.
Your computer was sort of just like an instrument, like not like now how like everything's inside a computer.
Yeah. It was like a sampler.
You could just it was like a sequencer and like a really remedial sampler.
Right.
But you could, so like the program I use, Octamed, you could have like 2 left channels and 2 right channels. So I would just like take the left channel and run it into an effects processor, and then like so those 2 channels would have one kind of effects, and then the other one, the right channel, those two tracks would go into a different one. So if you could find effects processors where you could have like different effects on the left and the right, then you could do some really cool stuff.
Right.
So I used to do that, but then I would have a different effects processor every month, because I would go rent it for like $20 and then like bring it back a month later and just get a different one. So I just make tracks through like different effects processors. Some of them I liked more than others. Yeah. Do
you have any that you rebought later that you liked from that time period?
I don't think so. No, I don't think I have any. No, they weren't very fancy ones either. Like I the one I liked the most was this one called the Digitech Quad 4. And that one you could have 4 different effects on 4 different channels. So like, I could do the thing with my Amiga, and then I could also like have synths and stuff going through the other 2 channels. And that was really cool. And I think some of the stuff on Grey Gage's Car Culture is definitely that effects processor.
What kind of synths did you have? Did you have a lot of synths on this?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you hear a synth sound, it's a synth.
It's a synth, it's not a
like,
sample.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. So the other day, someone was asking me about this record, and they were asking me like if I was using mostly soft synths. And I was like, no.
Did you have Omnisphere in 1999?
Yeah, right. I had the beta for Native Instruments Massive, and it was sick. It was a life changer in 1999. I don't know. No, I mean, that stuff wasn't even made in 1999. It was made like before 1999. Right. But I mean, if there was soft synths then, I have no idea what they were. And like, I got a PC computer in like 1998, and I don't think VST synths existed then either. At least I didn't have that shit. I don't know.
All I knew in 1998 was Kid Pix.
You knew what in 1998?
Kid Pix. This is a graphics program on the original Mac. That? On the original Mac, there was a graphics program called Kid Pix, and you could like make basically like black and white graphic drawings and designs and stuff like that. It was super,
that sounds sick.
It was actually pretty great. I kind of miss it. I think
you don't use it. You don't use it still.
I should probably look and see if I can get a KidPix emulator. It's not on my computer now, but
you probably should. You should probably look on the App Store and see if they have it still.
I feel like I would have to look more deep in the internet than the App Store.
Well, we were talking about synthesizers.
Yeah. Well,
so anyways, I had synthesizers.
Which ones?
I just like ones that I found at garage sales and stuff.
Like.
So I had what the heck? I had a Kawai K4R synthesizer. I thought that was pretty deluxe because it was 16-part multi-timbral MIDI synthesizer, and that was pretty epic because you could make like 16 different parts if you wanted. Actually, it had like MIDI channel 10 on there was drums, and you could stack 2 drum sounds on top of each other. So then I would stack those sounds with like breakbeats I was sampling, and then that turned out sounding pretty cool. So I'd sort of like make snare drums and stuff that were like closely in tune with, whatever like pitch I was running a break I'd chopped up at. That was pretty neat.
Where were you sampling your breaks from?
From records, mostly from records. Yeah.
Whose idea was it to re-release it? Was that Planet Me wanted to do that?
Yeah, I remember talking to Mike about it like some years ago. He's like, "Oh, let's re-release your Grey Gage's Car Culture record with these extra tracks." And I was like, "Okay." And then I thought, "Wait, that's stupid. Like, let's wait till it's like 20 years old or something." So I thought you gotta wait at least like 20 years, because doing the like 16th year anniversary of something, it just seems weird. Like, it doesn't seem like that's like a thing to celebrate, or like 10 years or something. Like, here's this record from 10 years ago. Who cares? But I guess 20 years seems more important. I don't know. Like, I don't care. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, why do we need to think like that? Why couldn't I have done the like 19th year anniversary? Like, that'd be funnier, actually. And that's important. You always want things to be funny and seem pointless. I think that's very important.
I agree. Who's this guy? Sorry.
We're doing an interview.
Oh my God. Who's this guy on the front? this picture.
Who's that guy?
Yeah.
Like out front of my house right now? I don't know.
No.
You know what happened earlier today? I heard this noise outside my house, and somebody just took a bicycle and like around the side of my house and just left it there. And then they left.
Nice.
So I don't know, like, did someone give me a bicycle?
Yeah, it's a present.
I don't know. And I looked a couple hours ago and it was still there.
I meant, who's the guy on the cover of the record?
Oh, that's Greg. That's Greg. He hates car culture.
Who is Greg?
He's Greg Hannock. He's a local artist. He's an improviser, so he does shows with different musicians improvising. That's kind of how I met him. I guess I met him around maybe like 1994 or so. I just walked into this. There was this bar here that is not a bar anymore, and I walked in there one day, and it was just him and a bunch of other people on stage, and there was just all these instruments laying on the stage, and everyone would walk around, like, pick up an instrument and play it for like a minute, and then like pick up a different one, and it was just this jam where everyone was picking up random things and playing them. And so I hung around, like, because, that's a cool thing to walk in on. So I hung around and listened to that. And then I talked to them after, and they said, yeah, we do this every Tuesday. You should come and just bring an instrument and join in. So I did that a few times. And then, I don't know, I ended up hanging around with that guy and just sometimes jamming with him. Like, I would like play my Amiga at like super wrong speeds, and he'd just like play trumpet over it and say weird stuff, and that was pretty fun. But he was always ranting about stuff, so that's kind of where Greg Hates Car Culture came from, because he was always ranting about how he hated this car culture we lived in.
Yeah, what does he mean? What does he mean by that? Does he mean like lowriders?
He would mostly just get mad at traffic, but usually, okay, the funny thing about it was usually because he'd call me up and be like, hey man, can you like give me a ride across town to this shit? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. So I'd go pick him up, and then we'd be in my car, and he'd be like super mad about car culture while I was giving him a ride in my car. So that was fun. So that's why I called the record that. But it was cool to like go take his portrait, because he hates so many other things now. Like, he hates cell phones. He hates the internet. It's pretty awesome.
Did you take his picture with a cell phone?
I took his picture with my cell phone. And that's the album cover.
Does he still do improv stuff?
He does, yeah. He still does. And he's a painter. He does cool paintings.
He looks like my uncle.
And he looks like your uncle.
Yeah.
Someone asked me if that was my dad. I was like, yeah, that's my dad. Because, why correct them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just put a picture of my dad there for no reason at all.
I thought for a second maybe it was, that app that they have that's like ages you forward or something?
No, I don't know that.
Oh, there's this like app, some Russian app that makes you look like what you're going to look like when you're like 70 or something. And mine, when I took mine, I just looked like my mom.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I don't trust that shit.
Yeah, I think...
That's just mapping all your facial features. I don't trust app culture. You hate face app culture. I do.
I do too. The original cover was not a picture of Greg though, right?
No, because History of the Future didn't have enough money to like make a record sleeve. So it was just a black sleeve.
But there's these guys on the label that look cool.
Yeah, that was a picture of the Beach Boys with their eyes censored out for some reason.
Did you design it?
I didn't really... No, I didn't. Some other guy did. I didn't really feel either way about it. I was like, okay. They showed me that, and I was like, all right. I don't know what this has to do with this, but cool. I don't care.
Maybe it's because the Beach Boys sing about, like, they have some songs about cars.
They have some songs about cars?
Yeah. I can't.
What's the best Beach Boys song about cars?
Oh, man. I don't remember the name of the car, but it's like the name of like a 405, a 409, giddy up 409, something like that.
That sounds like it's about a horse. Like a race horse or something. Like giddy up 409. Come on. I put all my cash on this 409 horse.
Now
I can't go home empty-handed. It's one of those like racetrack gambling desperation songs by the Beach Boys, because that was their lifestyle.
They had a song about like a lady in Pasadena who drives around in a car all crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
The Dead Kennedys had a song about that too. It's called Buzz Bomb from Pasadena.
What is the deal? That's where I'm from, is Pasadena.
Do you drive crazy in Pasadena?
I used to. When I was like 18, I drove crazy everywhere that I drove. So when I drove in Pasadena, I drove crazy. There's a freeway here that the 110, and it used to be made out of wood. Like they built it in the 20s, and it was made out of wood, and they made it purposefully all curvy to be fun for people to drive. Maybe it was actually in the 30s that they built it. But anytime, sometime in the 20s or the 30s, and they built this thing, and it's all like extra curvy so that people would have fun driving their cars that only went like 40 miles an hour on it. But now it's very scary because people drive like really fast on it. So I used to drive really fast.
I'm picturing like a skateboard kind of bowl for cars. Is it like that?
Well, it's flat, but it's curvy. Like it goes like windy, I guess.
Oh, windy.
Yeah,
okay.
windy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking like you drive up the side of walls and stuff.
That'd be extra cool.
That'd be wild. I bet Brian Wilson would like to do that.
I think so.
I need to talk to that guy. I feel like definitely when I released that record and now, I feel way more like Brian Wilson now. Like I feel more like a guy who's like sort of like laying in bed losing his mind than I did when I made that record. I need to ask him some advice, I think, how to deal with that.
How to lose your mind with grace.
Yeah.
How to lose your mind with grace.
How to find the other side of that. Yes.
Okay, so the internet says that there are 8 Beach Boys songs that mention specific cars. So that's probably why they put it on there.
Probably.
Little
it
Deuce
was probably
Coupe.
lost on me.
Yeah.
Little Blue Poop?
Little Deuce Coupe. It's almost the same.
I don't know that song. Just like, I can just picture like 5 guys harmonizing on that.
My Little Deuce. So what else was happening? Let's talk more about 1999 and 97 and 98. What else was happening?
Okay.
What about raves? I know we talked
Raves.
about barn parties, but like what other thing?
Those barn raves were fun. Those were crazy. There was parties here. I wasn't allowed to, by like 1997 or so, I was no longer allowed, I think, to play at things in Winnipeg.
Why?
Well, because I guess I think earlier in the 90s, they were like, oh, there's this guy here that makes electronic music. Like, let's get him to play at the rave. And then it would just scare the shit out of people. I don't know. Like,
did you play live
I just thought
at that time?
Yeah. I would bring my Amiga and like a bunch of synths hooked up to it and stuff. It would be like a carload of crap just to like play a show. And so I would just play off that. But I don't know, like I thought I was making like just like extra cool jungle tracks, but I don't think people heard it like that. They just thought it sounded like they were being terrorized. I don't know.
That's what I think it sounds like. It's just like extra cool jungle.
Yeah. I mean, that's like what I thought I was doing. I guess sort of from like 95, 96 on, everyone was kind of like, oh, we make drum and bass now. And it's just like, they made the beats all boring. Or they were just like, oh yeah, just like take out all the fun stuff between the kicks and the snares, you know?
Right.
And just have like a 16th note hi-hat or something and some like elevator music jazz sample or something, I don't know. And then just like pretend you're Ronnie Size. That was like, it seemed to be like what that music was evolving into. But for me, I was like, well, I want to make it like crazier and more frenetic than, you know. So I thought I was still making jungle, but I guess it was super weird. So and it made people it just made people angry for some reason. I don't know. Or like really upset that I would like be playing that at them.
at them.
I don't know. It was so weird. I felt weird about it for a while. I was like, "Oh, our music is terrible." I guess. And I was like, I think it's just people. They just can't handle it. And then I was like, I want to make it even crazier.
Did you also DJ in the 90s?
Yeah. I would DJ too. It was fun. We used to have this. I used to DJ at this thing that was in like a Jamaican restaurant because they had a really cool sound system. Like they kind of had this stage area like in the back of this Jamaican restaurant. They had an awesome sound system. So I used to DJ there with some people. I used to get in trouble for doing that too, actually, because I would like. It was like me and then my friend Feroza, and we would either one of us would always DJ first, and there'd still be people eating when I was DJing, and I would just be playing like super messed up records, and sometimes the owner would yell at me.
What kind of stuff did you DJ? Like what records?
I remember
did you own?
One time I was like, I had 2 copies of this Addict comp with this stunt rock track that has a sample of this guy going some space, which is like, watch me put crack rocks up my ass. And I was just like juggling that. And I guess people were having dinner and no one wanted that. So I thought that was a great sample.
I wonder what that's from.
I think it was from like a Gigi Allen documentary or something. It's like a golden nugget of a sample. Something horrifying, probably. But yeah.
Where were you buying these records? Like, where did you get Addict records? And did you get them in Winnipeg?
No, I mean, I got like test pressings of that when I used to go around with those parties in Wisconsin, because that's the people who were throwing those parties.
So there wasn't anywhere that anyone else in Winnipeg could get that stuff, probably.
Probably not. Yeah, I'm guessing no. I mean, there was always cool record stores here. There was cool record stores everywhere, I guess, and until there wasn't anymore, which is now. But yeah, there used to be cool record stores. But now I don't know what people do now. You like download MP3s off of like Beatport or something and play it in Tractor, and then you're a DJ at the party, I guess.
That's what I do.
I don't know what people, yeah.
Well, I don't use Beat.
That's what you're supposed to.
I don't use Beatport.
That's what you're supposed to do. What do you use? Where do you get your MP3 dance tracks?
I pretty much get everything off Bandcamp.
Bandcamp's good.
Yeah, I like Bandcamp. I feel like there's more interesting stuff on there because it hasn't gone through anybody else's filter.
Yeah.
And that's fun. Or sometimes I just go on SoundCloud and look for things that I like and then write to people who've put tracks up that maybe aren't even on Bandcamp and ask them if they'll let me buy them or if they'll just send them to me. And usually people are excited to share their stuff, so
yeah,
I do that.
That's nice.
It's nice too because then you get to like say, "Hey, I like these songs." That's fun.
I remember, I guess like it wasn't in the '90s, but I guess in the early 2000s, I got really excited about CD decks existing. So you could just burn whatever tracks you wanted onto CDRs and then DJ that. So at that point, I stopped playing vinyl.
Yeah. Was it Pioneers or was it was it Denon's?
Yeah, I used to use Denon ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got way better as the years went on. Back then, they were pretty funny. They had these it was just like a long thing with like a couple of jog wheels. You couldn't like scratch on them or anything, but you could like sort of find your place. But you could do this weird stuff where it would you could just like hold it down and it would kind of freeze what was happening on the CD.
Whoa.
So I sort of worked out all these really funny ways to freeze beats and stuff, just like in this neat tactile way with those funny jog wheels. So that was pretty fun.
I feel like I had to rent those for you when you played in 2010, but I don't remember.
Well, it probably wasn't that. No, because around that time, yeah, they make around that time they were making these great like 10-inch vinyl platter decks, and those are so nice to play on because they really felt like turntables. So I was using those kind of decks from them forever to DJ.
Right.
But yeah, I'm talking about like the original ones from the year 2000 or something.
Right.
They're super weird, like wedding DJ vibes. And the pitch on them, I think, was something stupid. Like I don't even think it went like plus minus 10. I think it was like nerfed. So like plus minus 4 or something terrible.
You're like less than a turntable.
Yeah, it was weird. It was cool though. Like that was, I mean, it sounds so stupid right now, but that was groundbreaking that you could just burn whatever, anything, like anything. You could just like record someone talking shit on TV and like burn that on a CD and DJ that, you know?
Yeah.
It was cool as hell.
Yeah, because it's almost like live sampling and stuff like that if you have a whole bunch of things that you've recorded yourself.
What would they have called that back then? Plunderphonic. The early days of mashup plunderphonics.
Where else were you playing at that time? Was there stuff going on? When did you go to Europe to play for the first time?
First time I played in Europe, I think was like maybe 2001. I think it was 2001.
Right.
Yeah.
In England?
I think so.
Or in...
Yeah, I played in England and I played in Berlin. I played at this thing called Fuck Parade, which was like the like anti-love parade thing in Berlin. That was fun. And where else did I play? I played in Hamburg and Dresden. For some reason, I was just playing a whole bunch of places in Germany. But yeah, I played in London for the first time that time. And yeah, then I just started going to Europe more and more and more, playing mainly always in Europe.
Right. So not much else in the United States then, besides like Wisconsin.
I remember I played a show in Pittsburgh. Actually, wait. No, I used to go like play shows on the weekends in different U.S. cities and get like in trouble at the border all the time because they were always like, "What are you doing here?" And they were like, they wanted to like look in my mouth and stuff all the time. It was really weird.
In your mouth?
Yeah, it happened more than once where they're like, "What's in your mouth?" And I'm like, "I don't know, like it's my mouth, my mouth parts, like teeth and the tongue." They were like looking around in my mouth. I don't know. I guess they thought I had like a little baggie of narcotics in my mouth or something. That was super weird. But, you know, if you're just some weird looking guy that is just going there all the time, like, what are you doing? You know, I'm sure it would be even worse now. You would probably be like, what the hell? Like, why are you going to like Ohio for one day? You know?
Yeah, with a bag of stuff that looks like bombs.
Yeah, with a bag of weird shit. No, I would usually just have like a thing of CDRs, and I would just feel like I just like to listen to these on my Sony Discman. So I would just have like a Sony Discman in there, and you know, my DJ headphones, of course, so it seemed legit. But yeah, you have to make up weird reasons why you're going. I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for talking about how I've been like illegally going to America. But, like, is there a statute of limitations on like immigration shit? I hope there is.
I'll look it up.
This was a long time ago. I'm talking about like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, you know, hopefully Homeland Security is not listening to this podcast.
Probably they're not listening to Dublab.
I discovered that the best thing to say was I was going to Six Flags. Or I just pretend I was really gung ho about roller coasters, and for some reason they like that. They're like, "Oh yeah, roller coaster aficionado." That's okay.
They're like, "Oh, we don't have any of those here. It's all right."
Yeah, I must have been obviously lying, though. I was probably just so sketchy. I remember one time I was going to New York to play, and they're like, "Why are you going to New York?" And I said, "I'm actually going shopping," and they didn't believe me. They were like, I still remember the guy was like, "People with Rolex watches go shopping in New York." I was like, maybe I'll pick one up. So those are some sketchy times I've had.
You know what? Can I ask you about some of like the samples on the songs?
Yes.
I really like the samples at the end of Boiled Angel where she's talking about her period. What's that from?
Oh yeah. You know what? I put out a tape on these. I found these tapes that were like about some like menstruation drug or something that like helps people with their menstruation. And then I was just taping over them and like putting, I don't know, I think I put out a tape on top of it where I just taped over it. But I listened to it once and there was really funny shit on there. So I sampled it. I couldn't do a sample that was that long in my Amiga. So I think I was just playing the tape randomly, like as I was recording that tune, like live. But the actual like Boiled Angel samples is this guy Mike that I used to know, where he was like talking about some comic book that he wanted to have called Boiled Angel, and because I used to have this like Walkman, this cassette Walkman thing that you could record on. So I just like, my friends would be super wasted, and I would just start recording the crazy shit they were saying, and then I would sample that. So that was just him talking about that. He was talking about how he wanted that comic and how he wasn't allowed to get his firearms certificate, which was probably for the best.
I can put dub echo on your voice.
Yeah, do it. Echo, 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 echo.
Wait, what? Okay, now I can. Go and say something.
No. Nothing happened. I didn't hear it.
Well, I don't think you can hear it, but I can hear it.
I'll make the easy sound.
That sounds awesome. We'll put the interview out with a sample pack.
Yeah, do it. Sample pack. Yeah, just stupid things I see out. Do it. Dublab, Venetian Snares sample pack. Here, I'll make some bass sounds, because you need bass sounds in your sample pack. There we go. Good bass line. Some drums. Do some snare drums. Hi-hat.
Oh my god, that's so good. Especially
it's perfect. Oh my god. Okay, Marcy, ask me. You have to ask me now, like, hey, Aaron, what is your sample pack?
Hey, Aaron, what is your sample pack?
Yeah, that's perfect. And then you just cut that up, and then just have me making the sample pack sounds. You just ask me, what is your sample pack?
I told them that they maybe didn't want to have me do this interview, but they said they did.
Why not? It's good. This is the best interview ever.
I know.
This is the finest interview of all time.
How many other interviews come with a sample pack? None.
Exactly. How many interviews are a sample pack? Sample pack.
This has been an interview. Thanks for tuning in.